Here I'm going to attempt to make the harpsichord from the quiet man. The more you know how to play. Basic measurements 1 to 12 scale. About 8.5 mil, or just under 3.5 inches. Let's quickly cut this out. I'm using Mahogany. I already cut this into thin strips. Like so. Three and a half centimeters, or 1 3/8 inches. This is the width of the top. This is the top I'm cutting out now. That's the top and the bottom cut. Trouble is when you're working mahogany, it's very difficult to see your pencil marks. But we're looking good so far. I was trying to find out in Google there whether Harpsichord actually played the harpsichord in the film The Quiet Man, which is what I'm making this for. But I couldn't really find anything. But if anybody knows anything, sure, give us a shout in the comments and let us know. Now I'm making the two end pieces for the keys like this here, because not having done these before, what I'm hoping for is that the body will support it, where this will help support the body whenever it's put together, and plus it'll help the base whenever I make the keys. See how it goes. Now this is just try and error because I haven't done a harpsichord before. It is the scale of the one from the Quiet Man. I know they're vary in different sizes and shapes, but this one I'm doing is to meet the 12 to 1 scale for the rest of the cottage. So we'll see how it goes from there. There's probably a better, easier way to do it, but if someone's going to play with this here and it's going to get knocked about, I wanted to make sure it was quite sturdy enough. I'll probably drill and put some wooden pins through the back of this as well. But this is my prototype, so we'll play it out and see how it goes. you'll notice the thinner edges to the back. This will be easily trimmed off later on, but let's see how it goes with that. I'm using super glue instead of wood glue to put this together because the super glue seems to bond better with the mahogany whenever you're not having proper joints in it, so to speak, like lap joints or dovetails or any joints for that matter. Looks more like a settee than a harpsichord at the minute, but it's early days. Now I'm going to make the keys. I have made a piano before and the keys were done similar to the way I'm about to do this here. I suppose there's a right way and a wrong way, but at the end of the day it's whatever suits you, whatever you feel more comfortable with. In this harpsichord there's going to be 2 sets of keys, as there was in the film. Well, I think maybe most harpsichords have 2 sets of keys, I'm not sure. But make your mark and keep them a couple of millimeters apart. Keep doing that all the way along till you have your keys. Don't worry about the ends too much at the minute because you can finish them off once when they're on the actual harpsichord with just some needle files. Prefer to use a hacksaw to do this here because it does give a finer cut, even though I have got fine coping saws, and my sister kindly got me a very fine tenon saw for me birthday. But again, one of them things, stick to what you know, what you're more comfortable with. The difference between a harpsichord and a piano apparently is when you play the piano, it's like striking the keys, where when you're playing the harpsichord, the machine plucks the keys. It's interesting, didn't know that. Right, I have a bit to go, so I'm just going to pause you there and I'll be back in a minute. Now I'm going to cut this with a knife because I'm using birch and it is very thin. I know it's got a slight coating on that side, but it is birch. So just some nice even strokes. And that should be it. And there we are. Just to get down a bit. As I say, all the fine tuning can be done whenever it's actually on the harpsichord. Let's take the camera out a wee bit, show you the effect I'm trying to get. I think this one here should be in the bottom one because it's a longer one. Oops. This is just to give you an idea. Obviously this isn't as it's going to be, but it'll look something similar to that there. But we'll get to that in a wee bit. Now, I was a touch short on this here lip, so all I want to do is just raise it with a wee bit of mahogany. Just to raise it up, to keep the keys looking straight. Mark them off the size. Because I've cut it so thin, I can use the snips. Snip it off. Touch on that side. Touch on that side. The lips fell off. So another touch. Now, obviously we've still got to be painted white, and I have to check out to see if a harpsichord has the black keys on it as well, because that's something I'm unsure of. Sorry you can't see me in picture here. All I'm doing is just taking the edge off and giving it a bit more of a square. I'll define them more so I will towards the end. I'm trying to get the glue on the back as well so it just doesn't stick on one side. This one's a bit long, but we can take care of that later. And we have a bit of fiddling. Keep our heights right. And because this is delicate, a wee bit more accelerator. Trim the edges. And there's the box for the harpsichord. Now, obviously there's a flap down lid on it as well to be made. This up is a piano to hold the music, the piano stand I'm calling it, I'm not too sure what it's called. The bass here will be finished off, so it will, but that's the story so far. I'm going to jump ahead and do the front panel and take off the edges, sand it down so it's all nice and flush, and then we'll carry on with the legs after that there. That's it for now. The front legs of the harpsichord are like a Queen Anne style, so I'm going to try and mimic that there. I'm marking them a bit thick because it'd be easier for me to work on later on. I know my fingers were a bit close to the saw there, but I'm quite confident that I had a secure hold on the workpiece, so don't want to be losing anything at this point. You probably can't see it on camera, but I am trying to get a bend out here at the bottom for the feet. And that's the basic shape of the Queen Anne leg. Oh, there. And notice the foot knuckled out, so that'll be finished off with the needle file. Do this one, match exact, and go from there. Now, a few mini makers will know this bit here will take a bit of concentration, because these legs, once they've been taken down a bit, no matter what they're made out of, they can be very brittle. So I'm just going to start trying to make the mark of the Queen Anne leg. Getting the flow into the 90 degrees. Could do this with carbon chisels, but we'd so up enough here to just use the files. All I need is my glasses on. There we are. All I gotta do now is go down that there continuously. There we are. You can see that very well. It says in the tin, one handcrafted Queen Anne leg each. A bit of finishing off here and there, but get on with the other one now. Now, here as you'll see, I'm not going to do a great deal with the front legs. I'm just going to take a wee bit of shape down the bottom to create a bit of a foot, and that's all. And for that I'm just using the needle files. That doesn't look too bad at the minute. We'll leave it at that and get the other one done, and then I'll join you again whenever I've got it all sanded down. Make sure it's totally vertical before we draw a chord. And the same with the left hand side. Turn upside down, side, yeah, left hand side. Again. Don't want it right out the front. Back a wee bit. There we are. There's the front legs on. Now, yeah, as expected, you see it's a bit high at the front, but I've left the extra room on the bottom so you can just put them through the disc sander when all dried and hardened, and they'll settle down. How you doing, folks? Just gonna finish the keyboard off here. It's probably going to be a bit time consuming, so I'll probably fast forward this here a wee bit. I'm sure you don't want to sit and watch this hero. Cutting out the ridges makes it easier to fill in. Pin sits in a bit better. Right, the keys are represented. Now, I don't want to go mad on it because it's meant to be looking old. So what I'm going to do is just try a wee bit of raw linseed oil on the mahogany. The birch legs, they've already been covered as well, as you can see there, with a dark stain, like it was in the film. So I'm just going to pop a piece of this on and see how it dries, and if need be we'll stick a coat of varnish on it from there. This will just bring a bit of life back into the wood. See the contrast. So we'll try that first, because I say I wanted to, it's got to look gold the way it was in the film. It's not meant to look brand new, so it's not. No chewing gum stuck underneath it, which is always a good sign. And I think the top worked quite well, so it did. I know it's only a false top, but say this is just like a showpiece to set off the cottage itself. I mean, it would be good to sell some of this stuff, but I'd make everything anew. Most of the stuff I'm doing at the minute is really just to get measurements and dimensions and sizes to break it down to 1 to 12 scale, which is what I like working in. Although I could work in bigger, obviously, or smaller, but it just seems to be a nice wee size to work on. I'm starting to like that colour already. See, the mahogany's coming out lovely with the linseed oil, raw linseed oil. Now I'm going to touch this on the keys because it will just take down the sharpness of the white. Now that's just one coat. I'll let that dry, come back to it, maybe give it another coat, but you can see what I'm going for.